lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal and crypto link in the info box below this video. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by The Plain Truth, Ranty Flat Earth, Physics Warrior, P. Mars, Jose, Jonathan, Eric, Daniel and Arwin. Good to have you all.
Yeah,
Hello,
thank you very
hello.
much. Hello.
Hello. Good to have you. Nice big panel. Let's do some housekeeping. Any signs of curvature? Anybody on the panel?
No, Nathan, no curvature.
No.
No. Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety, as Ranty's here?
No signs of that.
No.
Any evidence that we can have a gas pressure without a container for all those believers in outer space being a vacuum?
Definitely not. Nope. We're not seeing anything like that.
I don't know how that whole system works out with pressure, millibars, and all that nonsense. I don't really know who to go to with that information without being there myself. I'm looking at the balloon research. I think there's something there. I got to do more research on it. And it doesn't have to do with what you guys are talking about with the whole container thing and the pressure and all the vacuum and what they say. What they say is complete bullshit. So yeah, I guess I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm with you on that as well. I mean, I'd love to know what was actually going on up there, and I make no assertions about what's going on up there. When people say, "Oh, prove your dome," I'm not making an assertion of a dome. I just know implicitly that the antecedent required for gas pressure is a container. And if you're to assert that it's pressing on a vacuum, then that defies the second law of thermodynamics. So, moving on. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Hell no.
Anybody? Anybody at all? Distance to the sun? Nobody?
No one's ever going to figure out the distance of the sun. That's for damn sure, man. That's one of my favorites, and it's not 93 million miles away. That's for sure.
Well,
I'm curious.
Isn't it like 3,000 miles if you triangulate it? Isn't that what people are saying?
No, the problem is it's like a rainbow. So if you move your position, so does the sun. So it's not like you can walk around it to triangulate it. It's not like a tree where it has a physical location and you can just walk around the tree. It's intangible. I don't know. I shouldn't be laughing so much. It's because I had that naive notion too when we did sun tracking, and I'm sure you were around about then, weren't you, Jonathan, when we did sun tracking?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, I had that notion too, that we could actually do that until you try, and you come to one conclusion at the end. Everyone's looking at the same thing, it looks like, right? They're all in different positions and they're all looking at the same thing, and it's not like they've walked around it in any way, shape or form. They're all seeing the same thing happen. There we go.
Here's what I think about the distance. Even if we knew the distance, what would that... Has anyone thought about what that would change?
Well, I mean, you'd have had to have been to it. You'd have had to have gone there. You'd make it tangible in some form or another. But at the moment, with it not being tangible, then, you can't really give you a distance. You just have to make it up and base it on R.
what would we even do with that information? Like, let's say someone could figure this out. I don't know how the hell they would go, but I don't think it's knowable. I don't think it's knowable. The
Correct.
distance to the sun, and I think it is not know. It's not really. It's kind of like vestigial body parts. We don't need them. It's information I don't think we really need for any purpose, because I can't think of a purpose like what we would do with a distance, like an actual like a measurement, and I don't know what it would change. I think.
Well, that's a question everybody's been asking lately. Is like, how would things change if or what's next if people started to see that the world was flat?
Well, it's a carefully loaded question. If they see that the Earth is flat, if they realise that it's not a globe, then the current rhetoric is a lie. They've been lied to. They've been deceived. They've been fooled. So most of the people that debate us do not want to accept that very thing. Therefore, they fight for the globe, because in acceptance that the globe isn't real, which it's not, they have to accept that what they've been told and taught was wrong. That's a hard pill to swallow for most people. It's easier to deceive somebody than it is to convince them that they have been deceived.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting that the sun is 93 million miles away, because 93 is a significant number in the occult world. The Thelema, which is a religion Aleister Crowley was a leader of for a while. They greet each other by saying 93. And then on
so
9/11,
far away from what we were just talking about right now.
Well, no. We're looking at the origins. Pete's
No,
not asserting that
about
is the distance. He's just saying that the current rhetoric and its distance has an interesting number attached.
93.
Yeah, and on 9/11 they flew Flight 11 into the 93rd floor of the Twin Towers. So, I mean, I believe that these people are into this numerology, and they believe numbers are significant, and when they do these events and things, they try and make these numbers match whatever they this desired outcome that they want for symbolic purposes or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool when numbers line up and stuff. I mean, when you're not trying, you get like 666s or something. That's cool.
But P-Mars, let me just entertain a question. Is it 93 or 93 million? Because I see a lot of people giving, like, reaching sometimes. Like, how does that work out? Like, let's say that they set out to play. Like, how do you reverse engineer the whole numerology thing? We see it from the back end, whereas they plan this out, and they must choose which number they're going to use. So, and I'm not challenging you on this. I was just asking from my own curiosity, like, how the fuck they. So,
well, I think numbers they represent an archetype, which is like it has
a symbol. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like in our subconscious they resonate with certain characteristics and so I think they understand our subconscious and how to kind of brainwash us and manipulate us, and they understand this stuff, and they put numbers out in news stories to trigger the desired subconscious reactions that they want.
Kind of see where you're going with that. Maybe 93 works with science.
One good example of this was the Virginia Tech shooting, where I was watching that. So it's 11, 22, and 33 are considered the master numbers in Freemasonry, and you'll see these a lot. And when I was watching the Virginia Tech shooting live on the news, I was living in New Zealand at the time. The first report, they go 11 people are dead, and then an hour later they report, now 22 people are confirmed dead, and then the final tally was 33 people died. And I think that's, knowing what I know about numerology and watching that happen live, it just seemed like a pretty big coincidence, I guess. They're almost intentionally. I think they maybe just lie in the news reports about the numbers or something to trigger a psychological reaction from the audience. I think that's what's going on. I could be wrong. This is my theory.
Yeah, well, last time I was watching SpaceX, they were planning the next launch at like 16 hours and 16 minutes, right? And then right after he finished saying those two numbers, he said another 6, right? Right. So he said 3 6s in a row. But whether someone's just putting that in there, trying to be silly and put numbers together like a devil idiot.
666 does have a look to it, though. Am I the only person who sees this? The way they curl over and they kind of look like eyes. They almost look. 666 looks like an animal face in a way. I'm also part crazy, so I see this a lot in patterns and shit. It's my tryptophobia.
Yeah.
But certain numbers do have an animalistic appearance to them.
Yeah, I'm not sure if
There's an
other
aggression.
languages have a different number counting systems, like whether they all are based on 10 or not. Imperial is way different than metric.
Yeah, numbers do represent, numbers don't start. It's like people think that this was...
These opposing things define each other, and like you can't have light without darkness, you can't have hot without cold. So while they seem like they're different, they're interdependent, right?
You think that's a human contrivance, though? I think there's a middle point, too. I think that the fulcrum keeps the balance, and it defines what is what. To the left and to the right. Like if you have an equation, the equal sign would be God, because it defines what is to the right and what's to the left. Without that in the middle, you don't know what you're dealing with. That's just something I looked into when I did my Walter Russell research. Stillness, the 0 point, the lowest vibrate, the low by 8 hertz, the long waves. That's how you soothe the body into like another state of consciousness. Or as
you know how big
some would say,
a wave like that actually is? They're like an 8 hertz wave would be like 100,000.
That's a nice wave. I never heard 8 hertz though. I don't think I could.
You mean
I can hear about
electro wave or sound wave? Sound waves are a lot shorter. Yeah. Because I was doing some. I don't know why I was looking into it, but they generate power at like 60 or 50 hertz, right?
60 cycles.
Yeah, so a 60 cycle electromagnetic wave is about the distance of. It's a little bit bigger than the distance between the Earth's crust and then the ionosphere layer. It's sort of interesting.
I say sound is light.
Your what?
And light is sound. Sound is light, and light is sound. It's just, according to what science says, light has electromagnetic radiation properties to it.
Is the stream back working online?
It seems to be.
I just want to shout out the Dodo. I just want to shout out the Dodo and Aristarchus in chat. Boom.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Aristarchus.
Yeah, the never-ending free association game.
I just want to hear a little bit of Ranty's experience yesterday on Dell's show. It was very interesting. Then Jonathan joined. I joined for a minute also, but Ranty interaction was very interesting in Beyond the Imaginary Curve. I don't know if you want to fill us up, Ranty?
I thought your interaction was interesting too, Jose.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't remember a lot of it, to be honest. I went in there with an agenda to just, try and see if he wanted to be...
Unity, right?
About Unity, yeah. See if he wanted to try and start interacting more with different Flat Earth channels instead of him just being on his own all the time. And essentially, he's not really bothered. So, yeah.
He's a morbid cat,
Hey?
He's a morbid dude. Jeez Louise. That's the first time I spoke to him. Like, fucking, hey, can you get... Sorry, Nathan. That's like the stretch too. Can I get like a crack? Can he crack a smile? It's like he's got more people kissing his boop than he's got more people kissing his boop than Bro Sanchez does. It's like, yeah, whatever Dell says, if you say anything against we're gonna kick your butt. And I was like, God, this is not good, man. That's why I told him. I was like, I think people look up to you as a leader or something like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I got nothing wrong with that. If somebody wants to assume the role of organizer or point man, hey, where are we at? I'm working 50 hours a week. Man, I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh, well, go to that guy. He's taking the responsibility. It could be a rotating basis. it could show like there's some kind of structure to this, like a collective. Collective's a good word. Cult, no. Cult is emotion based, and there's way too much of that. Collective is like, we're getting something out of this. Some people are getting money out of it. Some people are getting satisfaction out of it. Some people are getting knowledge. Well, what do you mean a flat Earth? Flat Earth people getting knowledge out of this? Well, why don't you look into it? This is how you sign up. But we need to be individuals before we can unify, or else it's just a bunch of people that are there, and they don't even know why.
Well, I think unity is a bad, because I think if you form a group, they're the masters of this. Like historically, all the groups that form to oppose the power structure, they get infiltrated and taken over. So I think it's best to have a bunch of individual leader type people, because they also don't like leaders. They've tried to train males not to be leaders through their education system and pharmaceutical industry. So we need a bunch of individual leaders standing up for what's right, and fighting those and telling the truth about what's going on with those in power, I think.
And just being honest and incorporating that word honesty back in. The government usurped it for transparency. It's like, no. Plexiglass is transparent. Human beings aren't transparent. Human beings are honest. And that word's never spoken of, ever, when it comes to politics in this country. That's for sure. Integrity is another word.
Yeah, I think it's funny. It's funny when a politician actually does what he promises on the campaign trail. People are actually surprised, like, he actually did what he said he was going to do.
On the state level, or even like your town, your borough, I live in New Jersey, so I don't know how it is for you guys over in England. I know it's broken up into smaller like counties or villages or whatever, but we have state and then we have towns, and the towns are really boroughs or whatever, but it's state and then city and I guess small towns, and every town has a mayor. When you're accessible, it's much less. The politician, the person in charge, quote unquote, is accessible. In other words, if you screw around with people, if you start like embezzling funds or screwing up, just like messing up the place, people are very vocal about it. And it's not like we're Trump. Who knows where he is right now? No one knows. He's untouchable. So it's not accountable. He's not holding himself accountable, and no one else is. So I think on the state level, sure, there's corruption. There's the guy Chris Christie, and there's always going to be some scandals blown out of proportion by the media. But I thought about getting into like some of that. It's just boring as hell. I can't do the paperwork and all that sitting down.
What do you think about?
I say the mayor should be out there on a Sunday with one of those garbage pokers. If the guy really cares about the town of Podunk, Pennsylvania, he should be out there, so everyone can wave to him and, hey, there's the mayor. He's really devoted to cleaning this place up because he's doing whatever he can. I would vote for that guy. He's the guy who picks up trash. Sorry. What were you saying?
I was going to ask you what you thought about, just the drugs in general. And, there's weed now, which isn't really hard to get or that illegal anymore. But what do you think about other drugs like cocaine and things like that? Should they stay
legalize
illegal?
them?
Do you think
Absolutely
legalize them?
not. Legalize them. It's
Yeah,
legal anyway.
They should be legal, but people still shouldn't do them.
Well, I mean, I just see how people have power over other people because they have access to this stuff, and other people are willing to do whatever to get to it, which is not a good thing.
It'll clear itself out, because right now people are doing the drugs anyway, illegal or legal, doesn't matter. They're going to do them anyway. They're going to do them in secret, And if they're doing it in secret, that lends itself to behavior that's eventually they're going to trip up, and it's going to cause problems. They're going to be deceptive towards the family, towards the friends. If it's legal, now everything is on the table. So if you are a user, what would the user do? Is that user going to allow the government to dictate whether or not they think it's right or wrong? Because people think drugs are wrong because, well, the government says they're legal, so they must be wrong. Then there's, of course, the whole moral issue. But if it's out on the table, everybody who's doing them is going to take advantage of that. Everyone's going to see it, and everyone's going to pass judgment, and it will clean itself up.
Yeah,
Now
I mean,
it's bam, it's right there.
you could still do it in secret, I guess, if it was legal. It's just, I hate
Sure.
the whole fact of someone having to be unsafe trying to go get something, or doing whatever to go and get it when they could just get it safely. Yeah. But yeah, it was interesting to see what happens after, because the weed turning in becoming legal. Like here, I think in Michigan, it just became legal last Thursday, but then it's still like years away from you ever being able to buy it in a store.
So do you guys have a dispensary or whatever they call it?
There's a bunch of dispensaries, and you have to have a recommendation to still go into one of them. And a couple of weeks ago, they raided a whole bunch of them because these dispensaries were putting other drugs in with the weed, like fentanyl and stuff.
Oh man.
So even there, you have a big problem where no one's testing this shit to make sure it is just weed.
There was a woman who died just last week. She was given 8 shots, basically 8 vaccines, the MMR, the flu shot, blah, blah, blah. And she asked the nurse, she was like, that seems like a lot of shots to give someone in one day. Is this the right procedure? And the nurse goes, I don't know.
Nice.
Frankly, I don't know. 2 days
Oh.
later, this is a 50-year-old woman, okay, family, like 3 kids, 2 daughters and a son, 2 or 3 cats, dogs in the house, husband, young, like spirited family, kind of like a lot of space, a lot of backyard space.
Can you
Dead.
link this?
She it's on a website, govt, like government, govt, slaves.info, and you'll see it on there. Unbelievable. I read the woman's name's Denise Mullen, I think, and I went to the Facebook, and it's, could you imagine that? Like, she said she felt queasy, she felt nauseous, she didn't feel right a day later, and the next day they found her with the water running in the bathroom, on the ground, dead. That's it, gone.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's heavy, man. And I don't, I hate. It's not really my forte because I don't have any children, and I'm never gonna let anyone touch me. But when it comes to that sort of thing, but the people, and I know someone's from Sweden, and I think you can like lose your kids or something, or you can't send them to school. Has anyone else experienced this? Like,
Yeah,
come
it's
into your
pretty
home
much.
and threaten you?
You
That's
don't get
craziness,
vaccines.
man. That's when I
And
get a gun.
this is what a lot of ballers don't get, that being a baller is a huge part of this other stuff we're talking about. This just bowing to this religion. It is connected. Sorry. It's like, what, you can't even homeschool in Germany. That's illegal. Not surprised, because the education system is based out of Germany. So, I mean, yeah.
People just pulled their kids from this terrible educational system.
Yeah, you can't in some places. It's illegal.
There are people. Well, the police have children too, and it's really like, who is going to be the one behind the trigger? If the army, starts, because these people in the army, they have we're all the same, you know. We're all
Yeah, but
the
that's
same.
that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Because these guys are so brain. But as soon as they wake up, you can't be a cop. You can't be in the military anymore. So it's you understand. They're not gonna. You just can't. They're not going to wake up, and if they do, then they won't be cops anymore. That's pretty much how I say.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think in France, there's this guy George Galloway. He's like a political pundit or whatever, spokesperson or talking head. He said some really interesting stuff about the next wave is going to be the police are going to be affected by however, you know, whatever the government is doing over there. I couldn't find a straight answer. It seems like everything, a cumulative amount of just all the crap that people are just sick of. The police are now, the only reason why they're taking the brunt of all the stuff being thrown is because they're paid to protect this building. But when their quality of life starts to diminish, they're not going to protect those buildings. They're going to be the ones in the street, and they're going to wonder, those people in the building, where's our protection? Oh, yeah, today's the day, by the way. Today's the day we're taking it back by force because you guys couldn't figure this out. We're here paying you guys tax dollars to work 40 hours a week. Get it right. You know, if I don't get it right on my job, I'm fired.
Well, it seems like the system, you know, they've got their 5G rolling out where they can just microwave people, or they probably got the DARPA attack dogs.
But that's conspiratorial stuff, though. 5G's
well, I mean, whatever you think, but you know, DARPA attack dogs are not. I mean, they developed that shit, man. Have you seen the robots they developed?
Yeah, that's internet stuff. Not my reality. I won't fear any fear.
You don't think they're developing? Wait. You don't.
Sure.
You don't think it's true that they're developing very sophisticated robots to do these things?
To do what thing? Attack people?
Attack people, pretty much.
I'm not scared of it. I don't think Terminator's going to be knocking on my door anytime soon.
Sorry to interrupt you
guys.
Is anybody willing to drop? Got somebody in the chat, Kevin, I think his name was, wants to join. Anybody willing?
Yeah, I'll drop if he's going to be in.
I'll drop too, so.
I only need one person
well,
to.
If Psychics drops, I don't want to drop. I like how it makes me happy.
Psychics are best.
Whoever. Thank you
in
advance.
I'll see you guys.
Thanks, Physics. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think Eric, was that what?
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
Yeah, Eric.
Hi, Kevin. How you doing? Good to have you. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear
Turn
you,
off
Kevin.
your mute on.
Turn off your radio.
Yeah, turn off your radio.
I muted the watch page. Can you guys hear me now? Is it better?
Yeah, that's better. Thank you. Good to have you. Thanks for joining.
Holy shit. Oh, dude. I'm a huge fan of the show. I've been watching for probably like the last 6 months now. And wow, I'm like shaking right now. I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
So,
nothing to be nervous about.
Honestly right there.
It's about as laid back a show as you could join at the moment.
Huh? Say it again?
It's about as laid back a show as you could join at the moment. There's no blazing row going on. There's nothing contentious being discussed. So
I still get shaky when I start getting like emotional about this stuff. I don't like. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, man. That's good. Well, it's good to get your nerves up a little bit.
I was talking to Anthony Riley yesterday on the Google comments, and I you guys are pretty much like my celebrities. Like I would much rather meet you guys versus any Hollywood celebrity. You guys don't know how much you're changing the world. And oh man, I had this huge speech I was gonna say and all this shit, but now I'm just winging it. But I just want to say thank you guys for. I'm 26. I'm out in United States of America in Virginia. I'm originally from San Diego, California. And I recently, about a year ago, moved out to Virginia to meet my father's side of the family. So I've been out here just experiencing like weather change and all that shit and the seasons
Your friends
in
take
San
to this
Diego.
topic?
My friends, so I'm kind of like more like, I don't have a lot of friends. I like to keep it, a small circle. But I constantly am forever having, the back and forth with them all the time. My one buddy, it was funny when like 3 years ago when I brought it up to him, he was like, dude, if you keep talking about this, I'm gonna get out and we're gonna fight right here in this parking lot. And I was like, what, over a topic, dude? And that's when I like kind of discovered like what this topic, we all know that it triggers people. And like in that day I realized like, wow, this really is like a very triggering topic.
You know what?
Where
Oh man,
I think
you, Kevin?
that guy wants you to talk about it subconsciously. He wants you to talk about it. So what you can do is just do your thing. Ask people questions. Ask your friends questions. Hey, does this sound right to you guys? Confide in them, and then all of a sudden they'll realize, hey, I like it when that guy asks me questions because it makes me feel special, and it makes me feel like I'm here for a reason. And then you'll notice them coming back to you with a little bit of data, trying to like impress you, like, hey, about that flat Earth thing, I looked into it, and blah 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 blah, and it's
this
slowly
happens, that happens.
you'll turn them over. Just don't try and convince them of anything. Be proud of it, keep it inside, and make them come to you. You don't go to them. We don't go to them. They come to us for questions.
Right. No, I'm a huge in-person, like I'm not very good at debating. I've heard all of the arguments and all the proofs and stuff, but I have a hard time like repeating it out loud. I get jumbled up and stuff, so I always have to wing a lot of stuff in these arguments. But I'm like that guy at work that I'll bring it up and then all of a sudden, right, there's no right, it is what it is. But
it is what it is. Except for Nathan's debate. That's the only debate.
Yeah.
You don't have to debate so much. I think people like Chocolate and he does a lot at work, and he just asks people, proper questions about what they believe in, and just points out how crazy it is. Just asking questions like about their belief.
It's really hard. I'm a terrible listener, as you can tell. But if you can find the patience in you, if you're going to introduce this topic to someone, just ask them, how do they verify if they tell you you're crazy and what all the other stuff, just ask them how they verify to themselves. Like, don't ask for them to prove it to you. Ask them, pose a question, a hypothetical thought experiment. How do you verify the shape of your Earth?
Yeah,
get them to wonder.
That's my big thing is what do I say to him? I go, whenever I bring it up, before I say anything to him, I go, hey, what's your opinion? Is it globe Earth or flat Earth? And I love the look that they give me, because they a lot of people like at work, or a lot of the older guys and stuff, they don't YouTube search, they don't even know the movements going on, so they look at me like all crazy.
That's kind of a trap by asking that question. It's not the question you want to ask, and I'm not trying to discourage you or anything.
I'm here to listen.
You feel comfortable. I find when you do the we're in a divide and conquer situation where it's 50-50. If we instead of flat or globe, we substitute it for X and Y, or we'll call it black and white. You see right there how it changes all of a sudden? It's not so, like, the tension is relieved when you stop calling it flat or a sphere. We'll say A or B, boxers or boots, whatever you want to, Coke or Pepsi. And when that happens, it's the polarization ends, the fight stops, and it becomes a matter of opinion, because that's what it really is at the end. So just ask them questions about whatever, or don't ask them questions, because at the end of the day, if you come across desperate, they're gonna see that you're asking for validation, and they're gonna sense that you're unsure about it, and they're gonna start to doubt you. So
So who is this I'm speaking to on the panel?
Oh, this is Jonathan, Haunted House.
Haunted House. Oh, I don't think I. Oh, from New Jersey. Okay. I don't think
I've
I've.
been to Virginia.
Oh yeah,
very
it's cold as
important that
hell
you know he's
right
from
now.
New Jersey. That's very important detail.
Huh?
Very important detail. Must know he's from New Jersey.
Oh yeah. Damn. So Nathan, I just wanted to say I was trying not to get all mushy gushy or anything like that, but when I discovered your show off of Jaronism, and I've been watching Jaronism, kind of was the one that woke me up. A lot of people do Mark Sargent, but for me it was Jaronism. When I heard he called you out on, or he didn't call you out, he gave you a shout out on one of his shows, and I went and looked you up, and dude, I've been hooked to this show ever since, man. I listen like every day, and the stuff you say is so damn funny sometimes, and it really is. You really are doing such a great job for the community and for the world. Really, you guys are on like another level of debates. Like,
who is Jaden? Who's that guy? Eddie Bravo woke me up, man.
I like Eddie Bravo too. I think
right,
this shit's
Jose?
funny.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I really appreciate it. Very complimentary. I'll take it. I mean, I can relate to. For me, people like Patricia, Math, Jaren, they're my celebrities.
Yeah, you're on that level with me for sure.
I remember Issa saying I'm not boasting, but Issa said the same thing maybe a year and a half, maybe even 2 years ago now. And at the time, he was the first to say it. He was like, "You're my celebrity," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? This is weird." And since then I've probably only heard it a couple of times. Don't get me wrong, but you kind of think, well, no, I get that because of the people that I look up to. I tried to emulate Patricia initially, and it's because she can take it as the biggest possible compliment. I wanted to be like her, if you want to look at it in that way. And that's how people are with their celebrities. They kind of want to be with them. They'll buy their makeup and their clothes if they're women. That's how it is. So I totally get it. I'm just Joe Average though. Before this I was delivering groceries, so I'm nothing special by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
Just got the tenacity to put a YouTube show on. That's basically it, and put a bit of work into it.
Well,
but I want to be a successful YouTuber, and I'm glad that people like what I'm doing. The last show people were smashing the super chat. I'm like, wicked, because that's what keeps the show going. So I'm eternally grateful. Most of all, I say at every show, to the people who watch. If there wasn't an audience, that'd be it. So I am extremely grateful. I'll take every one of those compliments. Thank you very much.
Well, speaking of work, I'm going to go and do a bit of filming now, Nath. Sunset, but the weather looks beautiful, so I'm going to go and see what I can see.
Where from?
So I'm going to be leaving you guys. I'm going to go down to Anchorstone again.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm just going to maybe see the Isle of Man. Who knows? We can try, can't we?
Excellent. Yeah, let's know.
Sorry to cut you off before, Ranty.
Don't forget, before you go there, Ranty, if possible, if you're around in the week, we've got to present that dude's stuff from the opposite end of the Isle of Man. Shout out to Red Pill Philosophy for the super chat. Thank you very much indeed. It says best show on the internet. I'll take it. Thank you, Red Pill. It's getting a lot of compliments today. Definitely. It's a good day for Nathan. We must do that because that's other people have mirrored it and stuff, and I don't want the momentum to slide on that. I want to kind of, if people are cottoning on to that dude's stuff, I want to build that momentum, not for him as a YouTuber, but because his stuff's so good.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll let you get on, Ranty.
Right, I'm gonna leave now, guys. If I'll just stay in the chat, so if you want to kick me, if somebody else wants to join, that's fine. But I'll keep the panel full for now and just go on mute.
Oh, Ranty, I just wanted to say you're doing a great job too, man. Thanks for everything you do. I know it's a lot of adventure for you, and just wanted to say keep it up, man. You're doing great.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kevin. Do appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for leaving. If you want to join, let us know from the chat. Thank you, Ranty. Will leave the panel open for now, so we don't get horrible people.
All right. See you in a bit.
See you later. Thank you.
Hey, Kevin, are you close enough to drive up to Baltimore today?
Baltimore? How far is? Let me look at I'm not very geographically into. I'm trying not to cuss. Let me see where Baltimore is at.
Probably a couple hours at least.
Yeah, I'm in what is it? Stafford County, Virginia. Baltimore from Virginia.
Yeah, there's a level of inspiration that occurs with this topic. That's really an amazing thing if you get to be a part of it. You know, I don't know who I inspire yet. I'm waiting for them to come knocking down my door. You're the one, buddy.
You guys, you all collectively. It's not just Nathan. It's all of you guys collectively as the group. You come on here and you stick together, and it's even when you argue amongst yourselves, that's even beneficial because it shows the genuine level of intellect going on in this one little show on YouTube.
I can respond to that.
Everyone has different
Jonathan,
opinions.
You've definitely inspired me. So there was a time when, I'm sure you can remember, there was an absolute infestation of concave Earth trolls. They were bloody everywhere, and a few people, not you originally, but certainly you were the one that got me caught onto it, started to push forward this sort of parody of concave Earth called Dick Earth. And you made a little video. I don't know how you did it still to this day. You did explain it to me what you did with the Lite, but it was just so arty, and you were really serious, and the cinematography was really engaging, and I was really into it. And you were talking about something super serious, and at the end you just said Dick Earth, and of course it shattered all of the sincerity of the piece. But I can remember literally just breaking down in hysterical laughter and thinking, that is the most funny thing ever. That is what I will troll any concaver who ever trolls me from now on, because it's perfect. And I got that from you. I know it was Snack and various others that actually originated it, but
yeah, when you came up with that research Dick Earth shit, I was dying. I was laughing so hard. Shit was so funny. I'm trying not to cuss. I'm sorry.
No. It's contextual. So I mean, there's going to be a few swear words. Advance warning to the audience. We're going to be talking about Dick Earth. So you know, it's mostly
Dick
double
Earth
entendre.
is hard to swallow.
Sorry.
Exactly. It's mostly double entendre. You know, it is a difficult word to swallow.
Yeah. I mean, it's there, you know, it does have the spherical aspect to it, you know, right around the base.
Jesus.
We are basically just children. I know, it's terrible. You can criticize me all you like. I love it.
No, humor in this is everything. I think that's what makes your show so funny is like you're not a dick until they come on and like start, you know, messing up in conversation, and it's like, all right then, if that's how you want to play. And I love it. I can't get enough. I'm trying not to sound like a fanboy right now, but I pretty much am.
And you can even look at flat Earth. You can even look at you can look at flat Earth as an in joke. You know, like if somebody needs to look at it that way, they're the ones coming in here and saying you guys aren't allowed to laugh at that idea. They want to ruin the party and say you guys can't question that. You know, and it's like, hey, you know, you can come on and join the fun, but they won't do it. They will not do it. They're the worst, worst people. You know, they're the bummers. The guy in the corner, Bill Hicks was talking about. Get that guy out of here, man. He's bumming me out. What's a buzzkill? Like, you guys can't have fun with this. You guys, flat Earth is an adventure. Dude, there could be more land. That's insane. That's insane.
That's why what I don't.
Crazy.
I'm gonna drop so Scott. I'm gonna drop so this guy Scott can come in, guys.
Thanks, Eric.
Cheers.
You can just kick Ranty.
Could have just kicked Ranty if you want to stay, Eric.
All right. Oh yeah. Somebody wants to come in.
I'll just do that. I'll just kick Ranty, Eric.
Okay.
But that's what to mention the more land thing. That's what I don't get. Why people get so shut down to this idea. It's like, listen, there's they don't understand that there's so much evidence to question it with. That if everyone just got on board, it would just move everything up so fast. We would be discovering things left and right. It would take away like that feeling of nothing left to discover. Like that feeling is so false, and it eats me up inside knowing that, you know. It's like,
hey, nice try, Seaside Wheelbarrow. You're not gonna come in and pour it. You just tried to jump in.
Nathan, do you or anybody who was in on this back in 2015, the summer of 2015, a guy named John LeBon had a show called Flat Earth Roundtable, I think.
Baller
And
skeptic.
he had Baller Skeptic, that's what it was. He had Mark Knight, Wakey Wakey, which, Kevin, if you're not familiar with that channel,
Eric
definitely
DeBay.
check it out.
Get
Mark
Eric
Knight.
DeBay.
Sure. Yeah, Mark Knight. It's Wakey Wakey. I don't know if someone's got a
Wakey
computer,
Wakey.
maybe they can WAYKI, twice.
Okay.
He was on there. David Weiss was on there, the ITRH, and John LeBon, and they were talking about the moon. And it was the first time I had ever heard a discussion between some intelligent guys scrutinizing what we're seeing and not using the scientific narrative that we've been taught. It was the first time I remember I was walking my dog and I had gone to a part of my town I had never gone to. I was like, where the hell am I? I was so locked into listening and just totally into like this idea that, well, we're all settled on it's not what they say it is. So if that's the case, and it is the case, as far as I'm concerned, then that means my guess, if I could figure this out, there's an opportunity for me to bring an intelligent theory or an intelligent way of approaching this. Like, I don't know what the moon is. I don't know what it's made of. I don't know. It's a mystery to me, which is good. Mystery is good. That keeps us going. That keeps us wondering. That keeps our brains active. We don't really want answers.
That's why.
We just want a little bit more information so we can move to the next level. It's like a video game, I don't want it to end. I don't want to see God or anything like that. I just want to get to the next levels so I can enjoy this more.
Sorry, just 1 second,
If we
Jonathan.
move up,
Right. I just
was just going to say, Kevin, just
Go ahead.
between talking, if you can just pop yourself on mute, just so the background noise doesn't come through.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But if I don't know. Does anyone know if those episodes are still up?
Those what?
I don't know. Do you know if those episodes are still up? The John LeBon Baller Skeptic.
No, I think they might be on his website now. So earlier we were talking about people going from saying he's making money from the truth to he's not making any money from the truth. Well, he was, hey Chris. Hello. Well, hopefully we'll hear from Chris in a moment. But JLB was talking about exactly the same thing. So he's put his material, and perfectly entitled to do so, behind a paywall. It's his hard work. He's taken a lot of his stuff off YouTube, I think including Baller Skeptic Roundtable, and he's put it onto his channel and re-uploaded them behind a paywall. So if you want to watch his stuff, you have to go... He does still release stuff on YouTube, mainly to entice people to his website. And he's another one that's being criticised. Well, the truth should be free. Screw you, I've done all this research. If you want to know what it is, you can come and have a look and pay for it if you want it. If you don't, sod off. Go and do your own research. All the stuff I've found is there for you to find if you want to put the time and effort in. If you don't, you can come and look at it on my site. But that'll cost you. And I think, good for you. You're an entrepreneur. You're doing this work. And if you want to share it with people and they're kind enough to give you money to do so, then that's a mutually beneficial situation for both parties. Good for both. If John LeBon's making money from it, then good for him. Same for me. If I'm making money from people donating and that's what's keeping the channel going, and that continues, good for me. However, the people out there that are like taking the opposite approach, well, you're not making enough money on it. It's like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Yeah, everyone wants to make more money, of course. But so what? Why are people so concerned about it? Normally the people who aren't spending a penny piece, right? It doesn't affect them one iota.
Like JLB is one of the people I would say they've turned truth into a business and has no credibility for doing so. And I think he's a total fraud, and he just says things to be sensational, to get a reaction. He's like a
there's an aspect to him like that. I agree with that, because I didn't know where.
Really?
I mean,
he says no one died on 9/11. That's just absurd.
Just his opinion.
Yeah.
He's an excellent researcher. He shows his sources.
He's not.
Okay.
Well, I don't know where he stands. Like, where, he was. I remember. Do you guys remember that debate? That really heated debate with Red's Rhetoric versus Jeranism and John LeBon, and I think like David Weiss. David Weiss was there for a little bit, and he was in a car or something like that. And they had that guy who kept on talking about the kinematic model. Don't know what his name was, but it was on Glowbusters, I believe. You guys,
Hey Scott, how
anybody?
you doing?
You all remember
Hold
that?
on 1 second. Hey Scott, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Good to have you.
Thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure.
What's up, Scott? Nice hat.
Nothing, man. I had a terrible day because it's been raining buckets all day here. On my only day off.
Yeah, same here. Pretty
Where do you
miserable.
live?
Side of the fence you on?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all anybody wants
Of
to know
what?
when we get a new guest.
Hello.
And what kind of mic are you using? Powerful voice. Maybe it's just my headphone. Scott.
Me? I'm just using my
Yep.
phone. Sorry, I won't speak so close to the phone.
Oh no, I don't think it's what you. I thought maybe you were on. You know those little electret mics or something else. I think they're the lavalier mics. Those little mics, they're really wired to be hot, super duper hot. Crap, what was I going to say? Yeah, I'm just asking where you're from. Are you from the States?
Oh, okay, yeah. I grew up in Florida.
Oh, cool.
On the space coast. I watched hundreds of rockets pretend to go to space. That's what I like to say. And 15 years ago, I moved to Thailand, and I've been in Southeast Asia ever since.
Awesome. Be right back, guys.
Well, I'm pretty sure I know what side of the fence you sit now.
Yeah, I'm an anarchist, and discovered the flat Earth truth about 3.5 years ago, before it was popular.
Ah, the good old days. Seems like such a long time ago.
Yeah.
It really. I can agree with that. I've totally watched it go from like the insulting to like it's like a topic you can run into on the streets, and it's you know what I'm talking about. Like it's
Yeah, well, nowadays when I bring it up, people don't say, "What are you talking about?" They go, "Oh, you're a flat earther," or "Are you talking about flat Earth?" That means they know about it.
right. That's what I'm talking about. It's like now it seems everybody that's on the internet is at least heard of this topic. It's been truly like amazing to watch that grow from total confusion to like, oh, you're just a flat earther or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
It leaves me to think how many of those people
Leave these guys to shoot the breeze about the wonderful discovery that is flat Earth. As I say, first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hitting the super chat, and of course a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. Now, the show that continues to record after we finish this live stream will get rebroadcast at 11 AM UK time, so that's 1100 hours GMT if you want to look at the time in your local time zone. So it's a change from the previous 3 AM time that I was broadcasting it, as it went out accidentally late today and got considerably more people watching. So if you're unaware of my second channel, it's Nathan Oakley, and that channel has the pre-show, which is broadcasting as soon as this show finishes, so at about 4 PM UK time, or 1600 GMT. That will go out as soon as this live show finishes, but as I say, at 11 AM tomorrow, 1100 hours GMT, the after show, which will continue to be recorded once I finish this live stream, will get broadcast for the first time, so be sure to tune in to that. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!